Did you know that listening to English audio can improve your language skills by up to 50%, as large as 50%? It's like giving your brain a workout while you enjoy your favorite tune. So if you want to take a giant leap in your language skills, you are in the right place. Welcome to Mastering English Communication, Business English Success Strategies. So this lesson will explore 7 proven exercises designed to enhance your English listening and speaking skills, focusing on techniques suitable for learners of all proficiency levels. Now, it's not just me telling you this. Research indicates that engaging with native speakers and utilizing language learning apps can significantly improve pronunciation and comprehension, leading to greater fluency in English communication. So throughout this lesson, we will discuss various techniques such as shadowing, podcast listening, language exchange, etc., and other practical steps to integrate these exercises into your daily routine. Okay, let's get started. Okay, in the introduction here, this section introduces 7 effective exercises designed to enhance English listening and speaking skills for learners at any proficiency level, at any proficiency level. So normally I'm focusing on adult business professionals, and I am focusing on you today, but also people at other levels can listen in and gain a lot of information and insight. So this slide and the slides that are following are going to outline 7 proven exercises, right, that improve your language skills, emphasizing their impact on pronunciation, comprehension, vocabulary, and fluency. Let's move on to. So now, you want to discover and utilize these exercises. And when I say discover, I'm talking about listening in as I go through them. And very specifically, these exercises will include shadowing, podcasts, language exchange, learning apps, watching various types of media, reading out loud or aloud, and recording yourself. Each of these offers a unique benefit for pronunciation, comprehension, and fluency. So while you might not be able to use all of them all of the time, you should be using all of them some of the time. So research shows that consistent practice with these exercises can lead to significant improvements in language skills, with activities like shadowing enhancing pronunciation by allowing a learner like you or me, right? Because I study other languages as well, uh, by allowing learners to mimic native speakers effectively. So this is critical. Let's look at some of these language learning techniques, right? So in terms of language learning techniques, specifically designed for listening and speaking skills, right? Let's look at some of the benefits. We're going to show you a slide that outlines the benefits of the listening and the speaking, right? Because that's important to connect the direct benefits to the exercises. Right? So some of this will include improved pronunciation. Some will include improved comprehension. Some of them include improved vocabulary expansion, and of course, all lead to increased fluency. And as we all know, what normally happens is these don't all happen at once. right? As we learn, certain things are stronger or we grasp them first, and other things follow behind that. Right? So in terms of shadowing, this is a method of listening and repeating after a native speaker to enhance our pronunciation, intonation, and listening skills. Podcast listening highlights this highlights the benefits of engaging with podcasts. The benefit here is you're exposed to diverse accents and topics while you're learning the vocabulary in context. In a language exchange, this one will emphasize the importance of engaging in conversations with native speakers to build confidence and improve quick thinking. So, clearly you can have a language tutor and have the same effect, but that is not always financially available or available time-wise. And this offers, even if you're using a tutor, um, another approach to incorporate information in more of a social environment. So it's an excellent way to improve your skills. Learning applications. Uh, this is about convenience of using language learning apps for structured practice, personalized lessons, and immediate feedback. Movies and TV, right? So watching English films and shows with subtitles. Now, my recommendation is you watch the English films with English subtitles. But if you're early on in your language development, then yes, you're going to need to use subtitles for a short while, but you have to use them in a very specific manner, which in the future I will be providing lessons around that, right? But you really want to progress to the point where you're looking at English films and shows with English subtitles. And the other languages that I study, I am looking at that language in terms of the movie or the TV show, but I have the subtitles in that same language. I find that it's very beneficial for me to be able to see the words or the phrases sometimes. Right? It helps boost the listening skills. And of course, looking at movies and TV, you enjoy cultural diversity while learning. Then we have reading aloud, right? And this builds confidence and improves pronunciation because you get to practice. Those vocal cords have been speaking one language since birth in many cases. So now you're working on them so that they will start to adjust slightly to forming the words and the sounds in the new language, right? And also it's a low pressure environment, right? No stress. And then self-recording. This illustrates the process of recording oneself to identify speaking weaknesses, leading to improved skills and greater confidence over time. All right. Now, if you're enjoying the content so far, please give a like. We appreciate it. It helps us help you. So this is a nice cheat sheet, in my opinion, and I like to create these icon lists so you can immediately come back to the video for a refresher or study. But this icon list highlights the key benefits of specific exercises designed to enhance English listening and speaking skills. So as you can see, each item emphasizes the crucial area of improvement. Okay, enhanced listening skills, effective speaking techniques, practical vocabulary use, and engaging practice activities. Right. So this is a nice little cheat sheet chart for you. So incorporating these elements into your study routine will lead to significant progress and a more confident approach to using English in various contexts. Now let's take a look and a closer look at the shadowing technique, which is enhancing speaking through mimicry. Okay, it's very, very powerful technique. And just think of it as you're with a native speaker and they're helping you form the words, pronounce the words, even the way your lips should form. And so super, super powerful to improve your speaking skills, right? And having learners repeat after native speakers is one of my favorite ways to learn. So you listen and you repeat, right? You're listening to the native speaker and directly imitating their speech patterns. This aids in language retention. This is why if you use something like Google Translate, you should read the phrase that you've just translated into the next language out loud, or if it's not, you can't say it, in a normal tone, at least in a more hushed tone, just so you can have the practice of the pronunciation and forming the words. Pronunciation mastery. Now you're focusing on intonation and rhythm. Learners can better grasp the melody of the language, leading to improved pronunciation. Otherwise, you become stuck in using the language or speaking the language as you learn, but in your own native language. All right. So you will always have some form of accent if you're learning later in life, but that's okay, right? Because you can be perfectly understandable and pronunciation be correct. What you don't want to do is speak your new language um, in your native language. Listening skills boost. So this one, shadowing, compels learners to pay close attention, right? Because you naturally are listening to another person. In most cases, you're looking at them, even if it's a live stream call. And this allows you to catch subtle nuances and variations in language use. Confidence building. As you practice a shadowing, you become more comfortable with speaking. And as you become more comfortable with speaking, you are now more confident because that has increased, your confidence has increased, and your communication abilities become more solid. Let's take a look at podcasts now. Podcasts are a very versatile tool for language learning. It allows learners to immerse themselves in English through engaging content. You're able to grasp onto diverse topics and accents, and you're listening to a variety of podcasts that exposes learners to different dialects and accents that enhance your adaptability to real world conversations. My personal favorite is listening to news podcasts but on a wide range of topics, not just not just political, not just economic, not just financial, not just sports, but a wide range of topics. So you have contextual vocabulary learning. You're hearing new words in context. This will help you as a learner remember and use the vocabulary effectively in conversation. Our mind is a very powerful tool. It will take something in, remember it, or at least have it there so that you recognize it in the future. So the more you hear, the more you will recognize as time goes on. And this becomes part of what we call acquiring the language. Critical thinking development. So you're engaging with different perspectives in podcasts. Now you're starting something that you do in your own language, which is critical thinking. You're starting the beginnings of that, and it encourages learners to articulate their thoughts. It's almost like reading an article in the foreign language, all right, that you're learning, and then practice, continuing the practice, not just by reading silently, but reading aloud, and then having some form of discussion or answering some questions about it. Super powerful. And then anytime, anywhere access. This a podcast is on your cell phone, smartphone, whatever you want to call it, laptop, netbook. It's there with you, and you're able to practice and incorporate it into your daily routine, making language acquisition more manageable and enjoyable. So you don't have to carve out one solid hour or carve out 90 minutes all at one time. You can listen and engage at various points throughout the day. Language exchange. So this is about real world practice, right? And so this is great, right? You engage in conversations with native speakers. This enhances your fluency and cultural understanding. So just visualize it. You spend an hour a couple of times a week with a native speaker, either live over a coffee or you're on a Zoom or some kind of video call. And you spend a half an hour in their language and they spend a half an hour in your language and you're communicating. You've exchanged, you've helped each other, and it's fun. All right, you're learning something. I love doing this because I love learning about the culture of other people. Right. One of the things I don't like to depend on is third-party sources telling me what people in the other parts of the world feel about differing topics. I mean, you have to do some of that, of course, but being able to talk to someone who is living and working and going about their life in that other country, in that other language, to me is very fascinating and inspiring in many ways as we go forward. All right, so you're participating in a language exchange, allowing for real-time feedback. It enhances speaking confidence and cultural insights, essential for effective communication. Now, this is another case where the research backs it up. Research shows that language learners who practice with native speakers improve their fluency by 30% compared to those who don't. Additionally, cultural exchanges foster deeper understanding and appreciation of diverse perspectives. So I always tell people, and I'm talking about people who don't study other languages, uh, I always tell them that I enjoy speaking to people who live in another country, and I learn so much about them. But what I learn that is key to me anyway, that we have all people have so much more in common than they have differences. Right? But we're just spread apart by geography, which may enhance the differences, but we have so much more in common. Let's take a look at the learning apps now. So these are designed to provide structured practice and immediate feedback, making them an essential tool for language learners. So here's what you have. You have structured practice. Language learning apps offer organized exercises that help learners practice specific skills such as pronunciation and grammar. This structured approach will ensure that a learner can progressively build their language skills in a systematic manner. You have immediate feedback. One of the critical advantages of using these apps is the ability to receive immediate feedback on exercises. This feature will allow a learner to correct their mistakes in real time. You want to embrace the fact that you're going to make mistakes. And one of the benefits of making mistakes is that you remember the correct answer. In most cases, I will tell you, in most cases, when I make a mistake, I actually remember the correct answer more easily than just routine practice, because you made a mistake. It has the brain for whatever stores this information in a different way. I have no idea, but I remember the correct answer more easily. Right? So your mistakes are corrected in real time, and this reinforces the correct language usage and improves your overall proficiency. Personalized lessons, right? Many of these apps will provide personalized lessons, right? This customization will help learners stay engaged, right? And makes the learning process more effective. Convenient access, right? They offer you the ability to practice your language skills anytime, anywhere, any place, however you want to look at it, right? It makes it easier for you to incorporate learning into busy schedules. You're not just dependent upon sitting in a room, in a classroom environment. That's good also, right? But you have a diverse range of ways to learn, and learning apps is one of those. And then lastly, grammar improvement. by offering exercises that focus on grammar and vocabulary enhancement. These apps aid you as a learner in correcting common mistakes and expanding their language knowledge. This improvement is vital for effective communication. You should also see my video on common mistakes, recognizing them and correcting them. Okay, here's a fun part, no doubt about it. Movies and TV. All right. So watching movies and TV shows exposes learners to authentic language usage. Because the truth is, outside of some kind of you know, a structured environment like a newscast or something, the idea of a movie and TV is that normal people are interacting in whatever that way is. So it will help improve your comprehension and pronunciation in a fun and engaging manner. And at first, it might, you know, you might be a little lost when you first start doing using this as a way of learning. But over time, you find that you recognize more and more and more and more and more, right? Just like anything else. So using English subtitles, as I mentioned before, while watching helps to reinforce the learning. It allows the viewers to connect the spoken language with written words, enhancing vocabulary retention. Let's look at the research on this. So, according to the research, consistent exposure to English media can lead to a 50% increase in language skills, making it a highly effective learning tool. And then we have reading aloud. So I have an icon list here for you. And this icon list is highlighting the essential exercises for improving reading aloud skills, focusing on sound recognition, expressiveness, pacing, and feedback. Each item here is crucial for developing confidence and fluency in reading aloud, right? Directly aligning with the aim of enhancing your English speaking skills. Now, you want to incorporate these exercises into your practice uh, routine, just as I mentioned a little bit earlier. Even if you're using something like a translation tool, like a Google Translate or other translation tools, right? You want to read that translation text out loud, if you know, if possible. Uh, but also, this, even if you're not able to read it out loud, speak it. If you're talking to another person, you had to translate something, speak it to them. This way, it allows you to speak it out loud in a conversational way, and they can even give you feedback on the nuance, etc. So it's a very effective way. So you have these four ways here: sound recognition, expressive reading, pacing techniques, feedback loop. Self-recording. So the initial problem that we have when we're learning a new language, uh, we're not able to always recognize our speaking weaknesses. And of course, we're going to lack confidence in communication. So self-recording addresses this. It enables you as a learner to spot your mistakes effectively, right? You've recorded yourself so you can hear them versus a native speaker. And so as a result, you know, you're going to have significant improvements in your speaking ability and overall confidence. So you want to implement this whole self-recording strategy. There are all types of voice memo, voice recording apps on your phones or available for phones. Some of them are free, some of them are not. But it actually points to the fact that you can dramatically improve um, your learning and the pace of your learning by understanding how you sound versus a normal non-native or not, excuse me, a normal native speaker. And then, of course, you know, make the necessary connections. So let's look here at improving English proficiency. So in this section, we're looking at, key resources and exercises, and I'm going to reinforce what I've been saying so that you get the idea even more so, right? That resources and exercises to enhance English proficiency are key. Don't depend on just one way. So English as a second language, right? So you want resources specifically geared to that. They provide a foundational exercise to improve your pronunciation, your grammar, understanding, overall communication. Then for business English, you want to be focused on training in some cases, specialized vocabulary. I have a number of different videos on business English. That's my specialty in this case for the channel. But I cover all aspects and areas that are not related to business English because you can't have one without the other. So I do cover social conversation as well, because both of those will help you. Improving your vocabulary in general, understanding cultural nuances will boost your confidence and enhance your participation in meetings, negotiations, or business networking. And then, of course, as a non-native English speaker, you really do want to have customized exercises that fit you and target the challenges that you face as a non-native learner. So these are just reminder slides here. ESL, right? Make sure you have the effective practice and resources available. As a language learner, you should understand what those are and which ones are best for you. Business English, right? The 7 techniques that I've outlined here are excellent for business English learners as well, particularly if you're a busy professional. And then non-native speakers. Of course, we're going to face some challenges in pronunciation and comprehension and fluency. So we want to make sure that we're targeting the exercises that are giving us, even though we want to use all of them, some of the time, we want to target the ones that are giving us the progress in the area that we need to make progress in. So now with that, thank you for your time and attention, but I do want to ask you, please do, if you found this content useful, please do like and subscribe. Leave a comment because it helps us adjust for future content for you. And certainly share with those who you feel may find this type of information valuable. So I will see you next time, and we're going to enjoy our linguistic adventure together. Take care, everyone.